This is the Planet Reigate podcast.
Hello, this is Peter Stewart and welcome to today's edition. It is episode 42 of the area's only podcast, exclusively and uniquely for RH1, 2 and 3. Obviously, if you're somewhere else in the area and you love listening to find out what is happening in Reigate, Redhill, Merstham, Buckland, Betchworth and Brockham, we welcome you too. We have our arms around you. And you know what? You're probably a little bit jealous that you don't live here as well, because there's so much happening. And this is how we're reflecting and celebrating our love of life around here this week. My guests, well, the huge, fun, free, family-friendly Kiddical Mass cycle ride through Redhill and Earlswood last Sunday. Hear from the organisers and some of the, well, about 300 people who took part. If I spoke to you, then you may be on a little bit later. Stay tuned. And it's just a few weeks away from Pub in the Park at Reigate. 3 days long this year, of course. I've been to the park as the organisers staked out their plans. Hear what will be where and who local is going to be involved, on stage and off. In the news this week, investigations in Outwood. 2 people have been arrested. A big shout out for the Redhill Market. How you can get free space to promote your club community group in Redhill. Exciting plans for a local dairy. Yeah. Details on Armed Forces Day. How you could get a stall at Reigate Christmas Fair. Okay, I'm sorry for mentioning the C word. An update to the changes at Central Car Park in Hawley. International success for RGS School. In sport, we feature Reigate Squash Club, local softball cricket festival, Merstham Ladies Football Club, and South Park Reigate FC as well. Plus, of course, we've got the Good Time Guide of events across the area, across the week ahead. Planet Reigate stars for a whole team of people at a store in Redhill. Julie is here with another bargain from Hidden Treasure and from our local charity, the Children's Trust. And our 60-second soundscape before we go at the end of the show this week, our microphones capturing a surprise in one of our local high streets. All that and more as the Planet Reigate podcast continues.
This is the Planet Reigate podcast with Peter Stewart.
And you'll find the time that each of those features are on the show notes, so you can scooch straight through to that point if you want to listen to a particular feature. And don't forget to subscribe to the show in your favourite podcast app. Tell your friends as well. It's really great to speak to so many people at Kiddical Mass, starting off at Memorial Park in Redhill on Sunday morning. Thank you so much to everyone who was there, first of all. And if I spoke to you, you were so willing to share your experiences of that great event. We'll hear from you a little bit later on in the show, and several people who came up to me and said, I listen to the show. Someone who said, I think it was David, who mentioned that his wife Veronica listens as well, and he listens, and he said, I recognise your voice. I had to come over and say hello. Thank you, everyone who was there. And also to Leafy Learners, who messaged in the week on social media. Last Saturday, we supported the Hawley Carnival. You heard about their event, the Hawley Carnival event, in last week's episode of the Planet Reigate podcast, and they say it took part in our medieval outfits on the float in the procession around town. Despite the rain, lots of people came out to follow the floats from local schools and organisations and to watch from the streets. What a great sense of community it was. Do you support what's happening in your local area? Well, check out our Facebook posts for local activities in Redhill and Reigate, says Leafy Learners, and be sure to follow Eco Earlswood and the Planet Reigate podcast for more ideas as well. Thank you so much indeed to Leafy Learners, who I caught up with on Sunday as well. And also thank you to you if you are the mystery person. You didn't leave your name, but thank you anyway, who bought me a coffee last week. When I say bought me a coffee, it was a virtual coffee, which is still very much appreciated. It really is. And the message left was, it is the podcast filling the hole in my life left by the Surrey Mirror. Love it. Yeah. local media, obviously they have to make a profit. They employ loads of people, and they, even though they had advertising on their pages and on their website pages and so on, still a really big undertaking. And unfortunately, some of our local newspapers are struggling to survive, as you may have noticed. And perhaps there is less local news where you used to go for your local news, wherever that might be. I'm being careful what I say for obvious reasons, as you may know. But wherever it is, I tell you what, make sure that you listen to this podcast, which is here every single week to tell you what is going on in the area and to support local good causes, local events, talk to interesting people, and so on, so forth, and such like. And you may actually notice a bit of a change over the next couple of weeks because I'm going to be away, but I'm making sure that local events are still covered on the podcast for the next couple of weeks. But there may be one or two changes because we all need a bit of a break, don't we? Now, about that virtual coffee that the mystery person bought me, what that is you can go to a certain website and you can donate the price of a cup of coffee to me to say thank you very much indeed for doing the podcast, Peter. It's really easy, and if you go to the website, which I'll mention in a moment, on your phone, if you've got one of those payment systems already set up on your phone, Apple Pay or something like that, it's really, really easy to leave a message and then just press a button, and £3, yeah, the price of a coffee. That's quite cheap coffee, actually, isn't it, locally? £3 will go through to my page, if you like, on that particular website. And I really appreciate if you would like to do that.
Support us at buymeacoffee.com/The Planet Reigate podcast. The Good Time Guide. Things to do and places to go on the Planet Reigate podcast.
And please follow us on your favourite podcast app so you don't miss an episode. And coming up, as we always do, just ahead of the summer holidays, over the next couple of weeks, you will be able to hear a whole load of events of holiday clubs for your tiny cherubs and for things for them to do over the course of the back end of July and throughout August as well. So listen out for that coming up in a few episodes, or over the next few episodes. And if you would like a mention on the Planet Reigate podcast and the Good Time Guide, then make sure you tell us about it. It is theplanetreigatepodcast.com. You can fill out the form you'll find there. Give us a couple of weeks' notice just so we can get our ducks in a row, so we can get it all sorted. You know, obviously, if you've supported the show in the past, then I really want to support you going forward in the future as well. Give us, as I say, 7 to 14 days notice, as much notice as you can give to make sure that it's on. That having been said, this is what we're mentioning this week on the Good Time Guide. Starting for Saturday the 29th of June, Reigate Baptist Church. Summer fun, bouncy castles, tea and cake, five-a-side football, inflatable assault course. That sounds nice, doesn't it? Toddlers play area, face painting, craft and games, slip and slide. Bring spare clothes, they say. And you know what? It's all for free at Reigate Baptist Church. That's Saturday the 29th, 2:30 to 4:30, and it's all followed by a family barbecue, games and live music. They say bring a picnic basket, and that part of the day goes from 4:30 to 6. That sounds really good, doesn't it? It's at Reigate Baptist Church, Sycamore Walk, behind Reigate School. Now, you'll hear a bit later on about Kiddical Mass, which finished at one of the schools in Earlswood on Sunday morning. And when I was there, the PTA, is it still called the PTA? Yeah, the friends of the school. And the parents there were telling me, don't forget to mention on the podcast about our summer fair. I said, it's already covered. I've mentioned it this week, and I'll mention it next week as well. So here it is. Here are the details. I'm true to my word. Friends of Earlswood Summer Fair, Saturday the 29th, 12 till 3 on the junior school field. Join us for lots of fun. Inflatables, donkey rides, ice cream, barbecue food, bar, fire engine. That's a new attraction, isn't it? Tractor, stalls, music and live performance, games, tombola, raffle and much, much more as well. £1 for adults, 50p for children. Under 3s go free. And they've got a few different things going on there. I reckon the kids are going to love the donkey rides, the fire engine and the tractor as well. I think they are the big attractions. And I was speaking to one of the mums, and I'm sorry I've forgotten your name, and they were saying it's really difficult to find something different that we are doing for our school fair that other schools aren't doing. But she said, we reckon we've got it with the donkey rides this year. So support them if you can. It's in the centre of Earlswood, and our friends down there, the Friends of Earlswood, their summer fair, Saturday, 29th of June, 12 till 3 on the junior school field. Salford's and Sidlow Parish Council celebrating its 50th year, Saturday the 29th, at Salford Social Club, 12 till 5. There's a disco from 6 and live music from something like that. There's a cash barbecue, ice creams and craft stall. It's a community group involvement and fun and enjoyment for all the family. And also, they have got a scarecrow competition going on there as well. Also Saturday the 29th, 12 till 3, there's another summer fair to celebrate 60 years of Yattenton School. It's open to all the community. It's on Oakwood Road in Hawley. Bring a picnic, family and friends, barbecue van, live band, trampolines, pony rides. Beer and Prosecco, cold drinks and games, face painting, cake competition, inflatables, bottle tombola and a gift school as well. And I was told about that from the Friends of Yattenton. So I hope that one goes brilliantly as well, guys. Bats Hill Surrey Distillers and Reigate Ladies Joggers have got together. Invite you to enjoy a trail run or power walk and gin tasting, Saturday 29th, 9:30 in the morning, and that's Brightly Farm on Millers Lane at Outwood. Also, I can tell you about the Archway Theatre in Hawley. We are media partners with them, and it's their final weekend of A Midsummer Night's Dream. And they've got together to perform that, not locally in Hawley, it's slightly outside the area, so obviously beware of the dragons when you go to this particular event. It's at the Royal Botanical Gardens Kew, but not at Kew, it's at Wakehurst. It's a good collaboration that the Archway Theatre have got with them. 3 weekends of open-air theatre, matinees only, in the beautiful gardens down there. So maybe you've been there over the last couple of weekends. As I say, it's their final weekend that they are performing A Midsummer Night's Dream. So we're really pleased to give them all of our support that we possibly can here on the Planet Reigate podcast. We are pleased and proud to be official media partners with the Archway Theatre in Hawley. For more information and booking details, go to archwaytheatre.com or phone 0333 666 3366. And if you would like us to be a media partner with you and for you to be a media partner with us, it means you get added exposure on the Planet Reigate podcast, and it's kind of reciprocal arrangement. No money changes hands, but you give us a little bit of publicity in what you're doing and we give you extra publicity on what we're doing as well. It's a win-win situation. So if you reckon that you could benefit from that and you'd like to get in touch, drop me a line.
Email hello@theplanetregatepodcast.com.
Part 1 of the Good Time Guide continues with Sunday the 30th of June, and the Earlswood Farmers Market is back because it's the last Sunday of the month. It's a small market that supports local growers, makers and producers of food. It's 10 till 2 at the Marquis of Granby pub in Earlswood. The Little Summer Outwood Fair is going on. They say join us for a family day out with lots of yummy food and your chance to support local Surrey businesses. Shop unique, sustainable and handmade gifts and homeware and fashion at Lloyd Hall in Outwood on the 30th of June from 10:30 to 3. And there's going to be children's activities and lots of fun as well. And another one here. After the success of our Reigate market, we are back with a bigger venue. From maternity up to 5 years old, discover amazing bargains on newly new clothes, toys and accessories. Shop sustainably and affordably with Little Pickles Markets. I love that. Sunday 10 till 11:30 at Merston Park School, RH1 3PU, £1.50 entry for adults. Little Pickles go free. Book your ticket online or pay cash on the door, and the events are cash only. Please bring cash, they say. You pay individual sellers for the items directly. And if you want some more details on that, well, you can go to, you can check out LPM, that's Little Pickles Market _ East Surrey. So look for them on various social media outlets. Well, a few weekends ago, we mentioned, didn't we, about the Lowfield Heath Windmill at Charlwood. That was episode 36 of the Planet Reigate podcast, and I'm pleased to say that they have got another of their famous open days. It's on Sunday between 2 and 5, Lowfield Heath Windmill, and it is really fun because you can actually go inside the windmill. It was actually moved various places around the Charlwood, Hawley area over the years. They took it down, they stripped it back, they rebuilt it in another location, they refurbed it as well. You can go inside, you can see how it all works, you can get a little kind of guided tour. You can't kind of go, there are no stairs to go up inside, but you can certainly be outside. And also, and this is one of the really big attractions of the Lowfield Heath Windmill at Charlwood, they've got some fantastic grounds, and you can sit there in the shadow of the windmill. You can have your own picnic tea there, or a picnic lunch, or whatever it happens to be. It's superb to take photographs of, and you can lay back in the long grass and you can watch the planes taking off from Gatwick just a mile or so away as well. You've got the old and you've got the new all together there. Opening time, so it's Sunday, it's between 2 and 5. And if you're thinking, I'd like to know a little bit more about it before I go, check out episode 36 of the Planet Reigate podcast to do just that. And you can be appraised, and when you go along, you can speak to Peter, who's going to be there, I'm sure, and you can say, I heard all about you on the Planet Reigate podcast, and that's why I'm here.
The Planet Reigate podcast. Great stories from Earlswood.
Later on in the show, one of the top team behind this year's 3-day-long pub in the park in Reigate. Other locations for the event have been cancelled this year. We get to hear why they decided that Reigate was going to be the jewel in the crown for chef Tom Kerridge and his band of chefs and bands. That's later on in the show. But first, if you don't know, Kiddical Mass is a global movement that campaigns for better and safer cycling infrastructure where we live. And of course, where we live is Reigate, Redhill and Merstham, Buckland, Betchworth and Brockham, and specifically Earlswood, where there's been, last weekend, a fun, organised bicycle ride for local people to celebrate cycling and promote safer cycling for children on our local roads. It's inclusive and accessible for all abilities. And you know what? You don't have to be a kid to take part either. And I was honoured to be asked to start the event last Sunday morning at Memorial Park in Redhill before it's wound its way through the town to Earlswood Infant School. And I spoke with Rachel, who is Eco Earlswood on socials, as I'm sure you know, and Rich, one of the organisers, and a whole host of local people who took part by sitting on saddles, pushing on their pedals, and ringing their bells.
Alright, let's do this, Kiddical Mass. Can you hear me? Woo! Can you hear me? That was rubbish. Do it again. Can you hear me? Woo! Alright, good morning and welcome to Kiddical Mass 3. Thank you all for being here on this lovely sunny Sunday morning. This is going to be amazing. We're going to have a brilliant, brilliant ride together. We are taking over the roads, Kiddical Mass. We are taking over Redhill this morning. I know all you kids are amazing bike riders, but we need the adults to stay with the kids. So we do ride on open roads, and the other lane will be live. The pace of this ride is slow. Please don't think you need any energy drinks or bars. It is a slow 5 kilometres. We set the pace of the ride by the slowest people. We've got some small kids here, which is amazing. We stay as one group. We don't want cars in the ride at all. Marshals will be managing the junctions for you, managing the traffic. We have a guest to start us off. It's Peter Stewart from the Planet Reigate podcast.
Hello, Redhill. Hello, Kiddical Mass. Really good to be here. We need to have a big cheer together with any horns, bells, whistles you've got going, to show that you're ready. Well, I reckon we need a big Kiddical Mass Redhill countdown from 5, and then I shall declare the ride starting. So, all together, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go! Have a great ride! Stay safe! Enjoy yourselves, and I'll see you at the other end!
Kiddical Mass is a global movement. It was set up to campaign for safer cycling infrastructure for families and kids and to promote cycling as a healthy hobby to have. When I decided to set up Kiddical Mass Earlswood and Redhill, there wasn't a Kiddical Mass in Surrey. Earlswood as a space is very green and there's lots of cycling, but the cycling to school is a bit hit and miss.
And that's partly to do, isn't it, because of the kind of area it is. We've got some old kind of Victorian houses, we've got narrow streets, we've got cars parked on the streets because, of course, there aren't driveways and so on. It's difficult to cycle around the roads very easily, isn't it?
It's very difficult, yeah. It's no fault of anybody, really, but it's about educating people that perhaps they could cycle if they wanted to. This is a safe space that they can have a go at cycling on the road with their kids. There's some key points in Earlswood specifically that could really do with looking at. There's a cycle path that sort of ends, and then the cycle route, National Route 21, goes through Earlswood but down a residential road with no designated path. Historically, and back in the day in the Victorian times, there was actually a cycle path that went all the way across the ring that we call on Earlswood Common.
What are the numbers today?
The official count this morning was 282, but quite a few cyclists joined on the ride, so we're calling it 300.
300? That's good. So that's one of your biggest sets of numbers, yeah?
Absolutely. I think every time we do it, it just grows and grows, and the more visible we are, the more people talk about it.
And Rich, you're one of the organisers as well. Great atmosphere out there. You were leading the pack, weren't you?
Yeah, it's brilliant. The atmosphere makes it, Peter, it really does. You just see the joy on people's faces to be able to ride on the roads safely as a massive group, and there's music and everyone's ringing their bells and the public are waving. It's just great. We went through the middle of town, we turned right at the Belfry roundabout and did a big loop round past the Sun pub in the middle of town, so we had all the people looking at us there, and we did another lap back round past the station, and then we headed south down the A23 and then into Earlswood and did a bit of a lap of Earlswood.
What's been the reaction from people when you've actually finished here?
I can just see delight on people's faces. The really small kids, this will have been their biggest ride they've ever done. And it's an achievement for these really small, only 4 or 5, for them to ride a proper bike ride like this. You could see it in their faces, the joy and the achievement. And for families to be together and to be able to ride on the roads is a real treat, I think.
And Rachel, let's come back to you, because that's part of the thing, isn't it? That you want to encourage people to get on their bikes and perhaps to start off their lifetime of love of cycling. And yeah, cars have their place, but not necessarily to take people to school or just to go to the shops.
Absolutely. It can be a daunting prospect to try and cycle sometimes with your children on the road. So this is a safe space for them to be able to practice that. And the more people on the bikes, the better. We try to do 2 every year. So this is our first one of 2024. We will probably do one in sort of September, October. And we try to centre each ride around a local primary school. So then it encourages different people to attend. It also helps promote the idea of cycling to school.
It's a great cause. It's brilliant to make it happen. In these times of division and argument that we see in the world, it's great to bring people together and do something that's fun and free and gets people outside, moving, being active. Yeah, I'm really, really proud to be involved.
I don't think there's enough cycling provision available locally for the kids to ride safely. It was the second time we've done it. It's a great event. It just shows how many people want to ride locally, and were the roads safer, was a better provision, more people will ride locally.
A friend of us invited us along. It was a really good opportunity to get out on your bike. We cycled from Reigate first to Redhill, then joined, so it was kind of like a nice pace.
It was.
And now we've got to find our way back, which is also another little adventure. So it's kind of a good day out, gets the kids out, doesn't it?
It was advertised by his school, Earlswood,
Yeah.
and just both really enjoyed going out and enjoying cycling. So, yeah, that's why we did it.
Did you have a good time?
Yeah. Although I just wanted to be at the front.
I think it's a really good idea for the kids to be in a group. I think it really motivates them to join groups later on. And it's completely different from just cycling with your mum or your dad. You know, you get that sort of buzz, don't you? And they've organised it really well. The kids were completely safe, Dad, no worries. So I just said to them, when are we doing it again? But apparently it's not going to be for another 6 months. So, but yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, we did it last May and really enjoyed it. Yeah. It was lovely to come with my daughter, and I've got my husband down this time as well. So yeah, just great to raise the profile and just get on your bike.
I really like cycling.
So you had a good time, did you?
Yeah.
Just love cycling. I think it's so important for the community. So many people go to school in their cars. It's so nice to see so many kids out on their bikes enjoying themselves. I cycle to work, try and walk the children to school. We're a bit too close to cycle it, but I think it's an important part of growing up.
My 4-year-old loves cycling, and the 2-year-old loves being cycled. They just love being outside and going around with their family. I think this is the second time we've done it, actually. Yeah, so it's an absolutely fantastic event.
We cycle a lot as a family and feel quite passionate, I guess, about just getting more cyclists on the roads because it's not a particularly safe area to cycle, and I think people are often scared, so it's just really nice to see everyone come together, and the amount of people that actually want to improve the infrastructure is really positive. I think a lot of people feel quite nervous if they're on their own, whereas like I said, when you've got a big group together and marshals, it feels like definitely a safer space to cycle.
I like riding, she likes as well, so we both got to know from our friends, so yeah, that's the reason. And the main thing is we enjoyed a lot.
And did you enjoy it?
Yes!
I think it's fun.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Lovely day out. Get more inspired seeing lots of people out and about.
Hello!
Oh, hello. Hi, Adam. I'm Peter. How do you do?
How do you do?
Hello, George. How do you do?
Good, thanks.
Did you both cycle today?
Yes. I did the thing last year, and I really want to do it next year.
Me too.
I just really like cycling. I just find it really relaxing and calming, and I just really enjoy it. That's like probably one of the biggest distances, and I really like cycling.
And how fast do you reckon you went?
Well, probably about 15 or something.
God, that's fast, isn't it? Yeah, wow. Did you have your helmet on?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Perhaps I'll see you another time, maybe next year, yeah?
Definitely, as long as I don't have anything on.
Amazing ride today. Thank you all. Did you enjoy that? Yeah, brilliant. So a huge thanks to Earlswood Infant School and the PTA for hosting us, Friends of Earlswood. Also a big thank you to our sponsors, Suez Earlswood Recycling Centre. Big cheers for the Marshall team, please. That's the reason we keep you safe. People have told me already how slick it was.
So my name is Gabriel and I'm from St Joseph's School in Redhill. Hello, I'm William and I go to St Martin's School, Dorking.
Excellent. And have you got loads of friends there at each of those?
Yes, I'm very popular in my class. Me too. If Joss from my class is watching this, then hello, Joss. Hello to all my friends. I enjoyed the fact that we were on a very long cycle ride. What I liked about it is everyone had a nice bike ride. For me, the road is better because I like just being with the cars and stuff like that. I think the same as William, but also because at the park, normally the park is very crowded on sunny days and in summer, so I'd rather go in the road because then it's just going to be cars and I'm a very good cycler, so I won't get hit by a car.
And was it nice actually being in a whole group of people rather than just with, say, your family?
Well, normally I find it more chilling when there's like less people, so I'd rather just cycling with my dad, but I did like cycling with all the other people. You got to like be with your friends and stuff like that and talk to each other while you're on the ride.
And what do you think of how it all felt for you?
Very happy. because I love cycling. The atmosphere was very loud and also the atmosphere was very happy. Yeah, it was loads of fun.
Absolutely, it was loads of fun, and thank you to everybody who spoke to me. And weren't those kids absolutely fantastic, so eloquent? And hi to David and Veronica, who wasn't actually there, but hello to both of you anyway, among several people who I spoke with who came up and said hello. And if you're a new listener since Kiddical Mass at Redhill Earlswood on Sunday, then a special hello to you from us here at the Planet Reigate podcast. Hopefully you're going to make this a regular occurrence to listen to find out what is going on in RH1, 2 and 3. And also a special thanks again to the sponsorship from Suez, the Earlswood Recycling Centre, who also got involved. We've got sport on the way, we've got some job opportunities on the way as well, we've got a bit of local travel too, and we've got hidden treasure from Julie Beams at the Children's Trust, Bell Street in Reigate, but also we've got our news sequence, all sorts of things which have been happening over the last few days, and some other things which are happening over the forthcoming weeks. So we'll start off with news of 2 assaults in Outwood on the 21st of June. That was last Friday night, happened near the Castle Inn on Millers Lane around 9:30 at night. Police were called to the area after one man was hit by a vehicle. 2 men were taken to hospital with serious injuries and they had treatment there. 2 men in their 50s have since been arrested on suspicion of violent disorder. Police reckon it was an isolated incident. If you saw what happened, get in touch with them. Also, we can tell you about some more happier news. Okay, let's go back to Redhill because Food Rocks Redhill is on the way. It's going to be Redhill High Street, Sunday the 22nd of September, so it's a bit in advance at the moment. It's a day of street food, market produce, pop-up bars, live music as well. It's going to be happening between 11 and 4 on Redhill High Street. And also, this is a shout out for Redhill Market, which is there in Redhill Thursdays, Fridays and Saturdays. Maybe something, if you're new to the area, you're not aware of. Maybe it's something you used to go to and haven't been for a while. Perhaps you didn't realise that it was on Thursdays, Fridays and Saturdays. You've just seen it one day you've gone into town, but you didn't realise it happened those other days as well. And it really helps enhance Redhill Town Centre, I always think. And a reminder for me to mention this was posted on social media this week by Yvonne, who said, my personal favourite stalls there, the Crystal Stall, Crystal Manifestations, which is usually there on Saturdays. The Honey Stall, Bee Hero Honey, she says, which is usually there on Thursdays. And the Women's Clothing and Africa-themed accessory stall, Tings, that come all the way up from Brighton. Well, they know a good market, don't they? If they're coming up all the way from Brighton. Andy wrote, the market is a real positive for the town, and it's really good to see small businesses such as these doing really well there. Ian added, I travel from Crawley to get bread and cakes from the market. Greengrocer has lovely fresh veg and there are plenty of genuine offers to be had. And Kate said, we love Dylan on the fruit and veg stall and the Flower Man as well. So if you haven't been to Redhill Market before, maybe you haven't been for a while, maybe this is by way of a reintroduction to go back and pay them a visit Thursdays, Fridays and Saturdays. I've been there several times and bought things from the market as well. And it's always good to see some of the fresh food there, the fruit and veg, and also the street food stalls as well. So hopefully they will be involved in that event. Food Rocks in Redhill on Sunday the 22nd of September. Always want to give a shout out to Redhill. Redhill was where I first lived when I moved to the borough all of those years ago. And also I should say that Redhill is featured in our 60-second Soundscape, which is right at the end of the show as well. And it's a really unusual one because something happened while I was recording that I wasn't expecting, and I caught it on mic. So listen to find out what that was. Maybe you were linked in with that. Maybe you listen to it and go, that's me. I didn't realise. So listen to that at the end of the show. And we're going to be staying with Redhill now because does your club or community group want to do a promo day in the Belfry Centre this summer? Well, they've got availability in the Belfry Square. That's what they've called the lower level of the shopping centre from mid-August to the 3rd of September. So only a couple of 3 weeks there. It's when the schools return, and that they're offering up that space there for local displays, demos, workshops, fundraisers. Have you got something that you would like to show off there? I'm just riffing here a little bit. What could it be? It could be an art display. It could be dancing. It could be singing. It could be arts and crafts that you want people to get involved with, all sorts of things. If you would like that free space, I mean, what an opportunity there being offered by Andy Nash and his team at the Belfry. Contact reception at the-belfry.co.uk with details of your organisation, what you'd like to promote and what kind of dates you are interested in, and you can sort it all out there with them. And there's an exciting announcement from our friends over at Nutfield Dairy. Now, I say our friends because we spoke to the guys there from the dairy in episode 17 of the Planet Reigate podcast, and they say they've got an exciting announcement. Can you help us return to selling our wonderful milk in reusable glass bottles? Well, this is intriguing, isn't it? So, they go on to say, this is a plan we've been quietly working on for some time now. Many of you know we were hoping to have a shop on the farm, but sadly because of access issues, it's not possible at the moment, but we have come up with an exciting alternative. Quote, our plan is to convert our old milk float into a mobile shop with milk dispensers. I'm loving this. So you can come down to wherever we're parked up, different locations through the week, and refill your glass milk bottles. There would also be a yoghurt dispenser as well as other produce on offer, and the float would be fully electric, partly powered by solar as well. Sustainable marketing to match our sustainable farming. We haven't come across any other milk floats converted in this way, so it'd be really unique, and as you can imagine, just come at quite an expense, which is where we need your help. In return for your generosity, we're offering different rewards, including 1 whole year of discounts. So essentially what they've done is they've set up a crowdfunding page for more information on what they're trying to do and also the rewards on offer. And they say thank you very much indeed for your support. Well, as I say, it was Matt who I spoke with back in episode 17 of the show. If this is something that you would like to get involved with, maybe you support the Nutfield Dairy anyway, maybe you love the idea of this electric milk float going around and actually being able to have some fresh milk straight into your container rather than go. It sounds a really great idea. Maybe you're into sustainability, maybe you'd like to support a local business, you'd like to get in touch with them and find out some more details of how you can help. This is how you can do just that.
Email hello@theplanetreigatepodcast.com.
Well, it's Armed Forces Day on Saturday, the 29th of June, and the local council says we're going to be commemorating the event, not actually in Reigate, Redhill, Merstham, but at Banstead War Memorial. Now, I know we don't usually mention Banstead, but I'm mentioning this so you don't think, well, hold on, why wasn't it happening at Shaw's Corner, for example? Well, the reason is because they've gone to another part of the borough. It's actually at Banstead War Memorial. You may want to take that trip over the hill to go and take part in that. The Mayor and Mayoress will be attending a service, and there's going to be a minute's silence at exactly 11 a.m. They say hopefully you'll be able to go along and salute members of our armed forces past and present. And back in our neck of the woods in the Planet Reigate area, the Armed Forces Day flag will be flying at the Town Hall in Reigate for a week from Monday the 24th, and it'll remain up until the 1st of July. If you want any more information on their decisions or where else they're going to be or where else they're going to be commemorating things in the borough of Reigate and Banstead, you can go to mayor@reigate-banstead.gov.uk. And again, I should say that other parts of the Planet Reigate area actually come into the boroughs of Tandridge and also into the borough of Mole Valley as well. So that's the reason behind that we're mentioning Reigate and Banstead. But as I say, other boroughs are also available. Reigate Christmas Fair Organising Committee have had a meeting, yes, in June, in the summer, to finalise pitch allocations, and they say they've got a couple of gaps to fill for retails. So, are you interested in having a stall at Reigate Christmas Market? They say, alert, we do not need candles, diffusers, women's jewellery, homemade chutney, jams or sauces, They have got plenty of that, but what they are looking for, so maybe you can help them out with this list, craft rum. It's niche, isn't it? But maybe you are involved in craft rum or vodka or tequila or whiskey or local champagne produce. I can see where they're going with this. These would be to sell as gifts, not for consumption on site. There are obviously planning and licensing rules and all sorts of things to do with that. But if you're involved with any of those and you would like to have a stall at Reigate Christmas Market, details in a few moments' time. Also men's gifts, so anything for men, clothing, accessories, scent, cigars, leather goods, women's fashion, accessories, things like that, and children's themed sellers, so face painting, hair braiding, toys, all sorts of things to do with that as well. They say please feel free to message them on Instagram. So if you want to follow them on Instagram, it's Reigate Christmas Fair with a Y in the middle, F-A-Y-R-E, Reigate Christmas Fair on Instagram, or get in touch with me and I'll send you the link through to you.
Email hello@theplanetregatepodcast.com.
Central Car Park in Hawley has reopened following the improvement works, so the painting of pedestrian areas will actually happen. If it hasn't happened now, by the time you hear this, then it's happening in the next few days, along with some other what they call finishing touches. Electric vehicle charging points will follow in July, and the trees and shrubs will be planted in the new landscaped areas in November. Why November? Because that's planting season. Yeah, it'd be silly to do it and then see them die, wouldn't it? So that's the reason behind that. Well, we always like to hear from local schools, and an open invitation to send us information about the successes in your classrooms. This from RGS. They say we are thrilled to announce our debut on the prestigious HSBC Huron Education Global High Schools 2024 list, placing RGS amongst the top 30 co-educational day schools in the world. They say this achievement also places RGS in the top 3 co-educational senior day schools in the whole of the United Kingdom. Now, rankings recognise schools based on levers, university destinations, co-curricular activities and overall reputation. Well, I know there's an awful lot of talk around private schools or independent schools, call them what you will, at the moment, isn't there, generally? However, it does have to be said, it's fantastic to celebrate some local success, and if we got a local school amongst the top 30 in the whole of the world and the top 3 in the whole of the UK, well, that's something to be applauded, isn't it? So congratulations to them.
The Belfry Shopping Centre, Redhill. Ditch the click for hassle-free local shopping in a welcoming environment. See, touch, smell and try before you buy, and speak to real people who can advise you. The Belfry Shopping Centre, Redhill. Woodlands Lettings, connecting landlords with tenants for over 20 years. If you have a property to let, pop into our office on Station Road by the Belfry main entrance for a coffee and a chat. Or call 01737 372 797.
In our sports news this week, Reigate Squash Club have a club night. They say come and have a go. It's every Tuesday from 6 o'clock. If you're a beginner, a returning player, a team player, or just want to try squash or racquetball for the very first time, drop us a line. And they say we've got dedicated volunteers ready to welcome you. ReigateSquash@gmail.com. And you know what? I've been over there a few times and they are really super friendly over at Reigate Squash Club, and we'll be doing an interview with them a little bit later on in a few months' time. It's scheduled, and it's going to be something which is happening, rest assured. So if you want to know a little bit more about Reigate Squash Club, you can listen to that, or you can beat me talking to them on the podcast by going along. And they have their open nights every single Tuesday night. As I say, if you're a beginner, a returning player or a team player, or just want to try not only squash but also racquetball as well for the very first time, ReigateSquash@gmail.com. July the 3rd, between 6 and 9 in the evening, Softball Cricket Festival is going on for women and girls aged 13 plus. They say come along to Hawley Cricket Club for an evening of fun. Free to play, team up with friends or come by yourself. Tea, coffee and cake for sale all evening. No experience or equipment is needed. They say with quick and fun matches in teams of 6, you can bring a whole team or come as an individual. And it's going to be a great evening and perfect opportunity to meet some new people, try a new sport. All experience levels are welcome. Gates will be open at 5 if you want to arrive early to practice. See you there. And it's at Hawley Cricket Club on Hawley Row, RH6 8BG. And for more information, Charlotte at lowerthosebills.co.uk. Has to be said, it wasn't an email address I was expecting to be reading out, but there you go. 07884 364 527. 07884 364 527. Charlotte, I hope it goes well. Merstham Ladies FC are looking for girls to join their teams, ranging from under 9s all the way through to under 16s. There's even an active Wildcats group for younger girls on a Saturday morning. So if your daughter fancies giving it a go, then get in touch with them. So again, players are needed for Merstham Football Club, and they're looking specifically for girls to join the teams next season. And you can email merstamyouth@gmail.com. South Park Reigate FC are growing. They say year on year we're welcoming more teams and a lot more people to our facilities, and they say now is a really great time to invest in one of our sponsorship packages and have your company seen by thousands. So they've got various things that you can have your company name on, whether it's warm-up tops or shorts or the stadium or back of a shirt or on the stands. They're also looking for people to sponsor the floodlights, pitch side boards, programmes, or have an advert in the programme, or sponsor a player as well. So if you want more details on that, then get in touch with South Park Reigate FC. They're all over social media, so you'll be able to find them there. And I should also say that if you would like to support the Planet Reigate podcast in any which way, then you can do that as well. Really appreciate you getting in touch. As you know, we are running a few adverts now and again. If you'd like to sponsor a feature, sponsor the whole show, get involved with one of our adverts, or maybe buy us a coffee, a virtual coffee, which I mentioned a little bit earlier on, or maybe you'd like to have your item, your event, your organised talk or walk or social or sport publicised for free on the podcast. These are all the ways you can get in touch.
Email hello@theplanetreigatepodcast.com. Find out more at theplanetreigatepodcast.com. Leave a text or voice message on WhatsApp 07917 874 572 and leave a review on your favourite podcast app. Support us at buymeacoffee.com/The Planet Reigate Podcast.
In our travel news, part of the M25 is due to close next month for a full weekend to allow for further work. So it's going to be between junctions 10 and 11, closed from 9 p.m. Friday the 12th of July to 6 a.m. Monday the 15th of July. It's all because of the construction and installation of a bridge on the roundabout at junction 10. So this is the third of 5 full weekend closures on the M25 to happen. There's another 2 still to come before the year is out. So obviously this is going to affect you if you're going clockwise around the M25. Maybe you're going to a sport event, maybe you're going to Heathrow Airport, something like that. Here's the diversion, just so you can have it in your mind's eye. Junction 10 to junction 11. You come off the M25 at junction 10 and you go northbound on the A3 to Paynes Hill, and then you go towards Woking and Byfleet, the 6 Crossroads roundabout, and then you go down the A320 continuing to the M25 junction 11, where the diversion will end.
Planet Reigate stars, thanking local heroes who are out of this world.
The message this week, I just want to give a shout out to the extremely helpful Sainsbury's staff. who were suffering with electricity issues the other day, but still delivered fantastic customer service, and they too were frustrated. Great work from a wonderful team of people. So this week's Planet Reigate Star Awards, and our sprinkle of stardust goes to everyone, the whole team, the whole crew, all the staff at Sainsbury's in Redhill. On the way, our 60-second soundscape, again from Redhill. Also, we're going to hear more about the Tom Kerridge Pub in the Park weekend. It's more than a weekend, it's 3 days, isn't it? Which is this year, which is next month. Hear about that from Priory Park, where it's all going to be set up. That's still to come in this week's show. Hidden Treasure from Julie at the Children's Trust, Bell Street in Reigate, is with us in a few moments' time. First of all, let's tell you about a really interesting job I spotted during the course of the week as a social media and marketing assistant. Now, I know a lot of people listening to this are really into their social media and their Instagrams and so on. Yeah, you know, MySpace, Snapchat. No, not those last two. OK, Surrey Hills, national landscape. I know a lot of people are really interested in the Surrey Hills, in the flora and fauna, the natural landscape and so on. So is that if you had a Venn diagram of social media and interested in the Surrey Hills, is that you? Now, it's a part-time opportunity for 6 months, 21 hours a week, £12 an hour plus expenses, and it's mostly remote working because you'll be travelling across the Surrey Hills area. You'll be looking after their various Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and LinkedIn. It's going the way of MySpace, isn't it, frankly? Support and implement a social media strategy for various accounts to increase following and engagement, and create and curate compelling content. Gosh, that's a bit of a tongue twister, including posts, stories, videos and graphics that align with various visions and objectives. Now, you do have to do a little bit of work together with putting in your CV and a covering letter, and it has to be in by Sunday the 30th of June. So listen up, you don't have much time to put this together, but I did think it was really worth telling you about because I know a lot of people who would be interested in this who are listening to the Planet Reigate podcast. info@surreyhills.org. Now, there is a little bit of work, as I say, it's social media related, so get in touch with them and they'll be able to give you the details, or search for surreyhills.org and go to their jobs page there if you want to suss out and find out what it is that you've got to put together with your CV and cover letter. And fingers crossed and good luck for that.
Hidden Treasure on the Planet Reigate podcast.
This week, for the Planet Reigate podcast at the Children's Trust Bell Street, Reigate, we have a marine navigation compass. We're asking just £50 for this item, but obviously I need to tell you a bit more about it. I've seen them retailing brand new with their boxes and a little dust cover bag for between £85 and £100. I think they started off at £150 when it was a brand new model. Anyway, it's a course compass and it can be used to take bearings. Obviously very important if you're out in open water. It's saying it's ideal for a small boat, a dinghy, kayak, canoe, or even a small fishing boat, so very versatile. It's saying that it even works upside down when mounted on the ceiling. Hopefully that doesn't mean you're in really rocky seas and you get to benefit from it whilst trying to wrestle with the waves. It can be moved around the boat and it's got a clip with it, which is a smooth-edged bracket. That can be fitted in a permanent position if you choose, with 2 little holes which will take self-tapping screws, and it's designed with a smooth finish to the bracket and the item, the compass, so that it doesn't catch on sails or hurts fingers. Probably really important if you're out there. You might be out at sea on your own, for example. And so it's got a soft rubber casing, and that helps to provide efficient shock protection as well. So there's a conical cord that reads direct and horizontal readings, and gimbaled magnetic set. In other words, it's sort of, if it rocks from side to side, it centres itself again. It's quite an interesting item, even if you don't have any interest in compasses or the sea. It's quite a talking point, I would suggest, on the sideboard at home. So it is available on Saturday morning for just £50. So rush down, purchase this item, zhuzh up your seafaring vessel and help support children with brain injury.
The Good Time Guide. Things to do and places to go on the Planet Reigate podcast.
I love that. Zhuzhing up. Thanks, Julie. Okay, here is part 2 of the Planet Reigate podcast and our Good Time Guide. And again, if you want to mention for your charity or your non-profit event, we always look particularly kindly on those, as well as any local businesses as well. Do get in touch with us. Let us know about it. Give us a couple of weeks' notice as well, and we'll be glad to pop it in. Now, we've not heard of anything for Monday or Tuesday next week, so let's go straight on to Wednesday. And Salad Days. They have an open audition for a new production of that particular event on the 3rd of July at July 7:30 at Reigate Methodist Church. So Betchworth Operatic and Dramatic Society looking for a large cast for this, what they call a magical musical. Rehearsals Tuesdays and Wednesdays. For more information you can contact info@bodsweb.com. BODS, Betchworth Operatic and Dramatic Society web.com. Now, the performances are not going to be happening until November. Dates for the diary: 13th, 14th, 15th and 16th. I know, November. We've already mentioned Christmas already this week, haven't we? Info@bodsweb.com if you'd like to go along to open auditions on the 3rd of July. So that, by my reckoning, is going to be Wednesday at Reigate Methodist Church at 7:30. Well, have you got a young person going to secondary school in September? Well, there's a special workshop for you if you are a parent of said child. It's a free 2-hour workshop, and you're going to work with a tutor and other people and parents and carers to improve your understanding of secondary education in England, to learn how you can support your child who's about to start, who has just started in secondary education. So it's kind of really for people who've got English as a second language. Okay, so maybe if that's not you, it may be somebody else down your street, somebody else at school, another parent and so on, or maybe somebody you work with or in another group with. So it sets out the differences between primary and secondary education, tips on how you as a parent can help your child settle in, potential concerns around the transition from primary to secondary school and how to deal with them. So it's for parents and carers. No children will be involved in this free 2-hour workshop. It's at the YMCA in Hawley, so not the Redhill one, but the one in Hawley at the old fire station on Albert Road there. Wednesday the 3rd of July between 12:30 and 2:30, and you can book your place at family.learning@surreycc.gov.uk. So maybe you don't have English as a second language, but you're still interested. I'd give them a call as well and find out whether you can still go along. 0300 200 1044 is the number for that. One here for Thursday now. Catherine tells me about the letter writing group at the Posadero Lounge in Redhill. Now, this is a friendly bunch of people who write letters for cancer patients via the charity From Me to You. And stationery, writing materials are all provided free of charge. Now, if anyone listening to this and is undergoing cancer treatment at the moment and you'd like to get a letter, then contact the charity via their website, or indeed contact Catherine for more information. Her details in a few moments' time. But here are the details if you'd like to go along, meet Catherine and put pen to paper. So it's Thursday the 4th, 10:30 till noon at the Posadero Lounge in Redhill. They're allocated a large table, and obviously you're encouraged to buy a drink and help support the business as well. So for more information, it's Catherine with a C, so it's CATH_WH, which is the first part of her surname. So it's Cath_WH at hotmail.co.uk, and that sounds a mighty fine thing to me for people to do. I don't think you'd necessarily talk about their diagnosis and so on, but you talk about yourself and the weather and things in the news. I say things in the news, it's actually happening on election day. Probably best to avoid that topic. And also, let's look ahead to Saturday the 6th of July. Yeah, we've got scant details for next week. And Rayfest, Saturday the 6th of July. And of course, as you know, we are proud to be media partners with Rayfest, which is happening at Ray Common School, Saturday the 6th of July. They've got various things happening on the main stage, the Feel Good Arena, a Makers Market and a food village and a family fun zone as well. Let's just have a look at these. Taekwondo, there's a choir, a DJ, there's the cheer squad as well, musical theatre, there's a petting zoo, Punch and Judy, they've got football fun, they've got arts and crafts, they've got Bats Hill Gin, they've got Joe's Diner, they've got a kitchen there, they've got a cookie pod, they've got coffee and ice cream and candy floss as well, inflatables, face painting, splatter rat, Finding Nemo, beanbag toss and a teddy tombola, and meet the goalie as well, and loads more as well. And it's all happening on Saturday at Ray Common School. They're calling it Rayfest, which is absolutely fantastic. And you can go along there, and all money raised will be going to Ray Common School. For more inquiries or for more details, contact friends at ray-common.surrey.sch.uk. Also next Saturday, Friends of Fursfield are holding their annual summer fete. Saturday 6th of July, 11 to 1:30, games, tombolas, Splat the Teacher. Okay, well, Rayfest have got Splatter Rat. I can't help thinking that Fursfield have got one better with Splatter Teacher. DJ prizes and refreshments at Fursfield Primary School in Merstham, and they're hoping the Splatter Teacher stall, they say, will be a really big draw. They've also got the Raven Smoothie Bike, exotic animals, and various other games and stalls as well. The Royal Alexandra and Albert School present an 8-hour football match, so that's 30 players, 2 managers, 2 refs, plus a variety of volunteers taking part in what's called Matchu 2024. Now, it's to raise money in memory of Matthew Van Noord Pendleton, who sadly died in late 2023. And I won't go into details about what happened. If you're aware, then you have our sympathies and our understanding. They say Matthew was a marvellous person with an eye for detail, as well as a brilliant sense of humour and a tremendous ability to work hard, all while maintaining a love for his family and friends. And they say Matthew had such a curiosity for life and never stopped himself from learning something new and supporting others to the best of his ability. They say he was a funny, kind, empathetic and supportive person, and it was a real support to everyone around him. We miss him so much. And this is an 8-hour football match. Kick-off at 9 a.m, 6-a-side, 30-minute player rotation, final whistle at 5. I've not heard of this kind of thing before. They're supporting Mind, one of the UK's leading mental health charities, who support so many people across the county and across the country. And we wish them good luck for that. If you would like to go along to the school, the Royal Alexandra and Albert School, and as I say, that's Saturday week, 9 a.m. Another message here, we're starting a charity. Come and join us for an evening of live music performance and support us in providing opportunities for young people to perform and get them some professional coaching to succeed, which they normally couldn't afford. Support us in inspiring a young generation to perform and grow in confidence. So it's called Inspire Through Music. It's July the 6th at 7 o'clock. The location is Merstham Village Hall. Book tickets only £20, and if you want some more details on that, email charityinspirefm@gmail.com. Meadvale Village Fete is going on Saturday the 6th between 12 and 4 over there at Somerset Road in Meadvale. Stalls, games, live music, inflatables, food and bar, ice cream van and a classic car display. Have you noticed each one of these various fairs and fetes have got something slightly different, haven't they? They've got the old favourites that they know is going to bring in a crowd, and also they've got a USP, a unique sales proposition as well. And this time, in aid of the local scout group there, Meadvale Village Fete, they've got a classic car display. So congratulations to them. Hope it all goes well there. And you heard about it on the Good Time Guide. Well, it is back after a great first year last year. The people behind the Tom Kerridge-backed Food and Music Festival, the Pub in the Park, decided that instead of just 2 days, this year it's going to be extended to 3. And the Pub in the Park returns to Reighate's Priory Park between the 12th and 14th of July. And some big names slicing and dicing. And some more big names singing and playing on the centre stage. Michelin chefs and top name singers, including a host of local names and local groups as well. And I'm pleased and proud to say that the Planet Reigate podcast is an official media partner of the Pub in the Park, Priory Park, Reigate, between the 12th and the 14th of July. For more information and tickets, go to pubintheparkuk.com/Reigate. Well, I've been down to Priory Park, where I caught up with David, one of the team behind it all, to find out how the last few days of planning are going and what we can all look forward to.
We'll be coming in just 2 weeks to start the build ahead of the event. So we've got acts such as McFly, we've got Sam Ryder, we've got Melanie C. It's a whole host of music acts, but obviously the sort of main draw is the food from top chefs across the country, dishes from £7, amazing dishes I might add. We got a taste of those in Marlow last month. I can promise you that they're going to be very exciting. And also actually this year we have some new local music acts which we did not have last year.
Yeah, so you've been working with Tim from the new music nights. I tell you what, it was dull, wasn't it, when we started this interview? Now the sun's come out, we're just going to move back under the shade. Yes, you've been working with Tim from New Music Nights, I know, and he's one of the guys that put on the Reigate Summer Festival a couple of 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So it's really excellent that you've been working with him to get some local acts to support some of these big name stars.
Wherever we bring Pub in the Park, we want to get the local community involved. So to have somebody that's sort of got a ready-made roster of great talent locally, and to bring them on stage with people like Mel C and Sam Ryder, and sharing that space is not just incredible for them, but also for us, and show that we actually have the local community kind of in our mind when we come to these amazing spaces. It will be a huge stage in front of thousands of people that are waiting to just enjoy a great weekend in the sunshine.
Last year was the first time you were here in Reigate. It was quite small, wasn't it? So, and this year is extending over 3 days. That's one change I know. What else is going to be different?
So I think the biggest thing that you'll notice is new menus. So the menus this year across the restaurants, we've got some new restaurants, we've got some updated restaurants. We've also got our chef specials. So each of our restaurants has been sort of challenged with creating a Pub in the Park special, something you won't get in their restaurants or anywhere else. They're a little bit more expensive, but they're a little bit bigger. The chefs have got creative with ingredients. Ginger wings, for instance, have got some caviar on top of their chicken wings. So, they've kind of gone all out, so it's very exciting for that. We've got our fire pit demo stage, so you'll see live fire pit cooking from some incredible people, including DJ Barbecue, and he's also bringing his restaurant. So his restaurant is like none of the others because he's got a huge fire pit next to it. It's being served to you fresh from the barbecue. There's no sort of reheating or anything like that. It is off the barbecue that day. So I think that is very exciting. He was at Marlow, and yeah, there's a huge sort of DJ set that's going alongside the cooking as well. So it's a very, very experiential sort of moment for people to kind of take part in. So I would definitely recommend sort of stopping by his area.
My stomach is rumbling already. You're holding on to yours, I noticed as well. Okay, it's that time in the afternoon when we're recording this, around about 4:30. So yes, it's getting towards supper time. Now, last year, I think there were 10 different Pub in the Parks around the country. This year, it's only a handful. Reigate has been chosen to be one of those, which is obviously brilliant. What makes Reigate such a standout location? Why did you decide to come here and jettison some of those others, like Brighton and Tunbridge Wells and so on?
One of the things that we really wanted to do this year was really focus in on each location. 10 shows, as you might imagine, it's quite a lot to get through in a year. And what we really wanted to do was get under the skin of these great towns that we're coming back to. So we're coming back to Marlow, Chiswick, St Albans, and of course Reigate. And Reigate is relatively new for us in terms of location. So Marlow's been, since the beginning, Chiswick from the second year, St Albans from the second year. And I think for us, Reigate is that perfect Pub in the Park town for us. It's not too big. You don't necessarily have lots and lots of huge events here, but actually what we want to do is kind of bring a bit of something special to the community, have great music acts. It is a stunning setting here. You've got the beautiful hills in the distance. You've got great access as well. So the other thing that's challenged for quite a lot of occasions is car parking, but here you've got great train access, you've got public transport, which means that people can come on foot and actually really enjoy themselves, whereas some of the other locations we've gone in the past have been a challenge to get to. And I think, here, you've kind of got a bit of everything. You've got great high street, you've got this great park, you've got great surroundings and great villages and towns locally as well, which hopefully will all be coming to join us on the weekend.
Absolutely, and not a large residential area immediately beside,
Yes.
which could cause problems for access or for noise and things like that as well, I'm guessing. You mentioned the high street. Some people may say, oh, we're a little bit worried because we run a restaurant in the high street and you're going to be taking our trade away for a couple of days. But I'm guessing you're hoping that actually with more people coming in anyway, perhaps to and from the train station, it's going to perhaps showcase Reigate, but also they're going to stop off for a snack, for something to drink or think to themselves, this is pretty good, I like Reigate High Street, I'm going to come back in a few weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you look at the way that our sessions run across the weekend as well, so Friday, we're Friday evening only, so you've got people that will be arriving earlier, they'll want something to snack on, they'll want, as you say, maybe a nice drink in the sunshine beforehand. Saturday's interesting because it's split over 2 sessions, so 4 hours in the afternoon and 4 hours in the evening. So we close, everybody leaves and vacates the session, and then they'll go into the town, they'll enjoy some food. Some people may even be coming back for the evening session for Pub in the Park, which we definitely do see, but actually a lot of those people will be going out looking for some drinks to carry on the party, looking for something really to have a substantial meal for. And again, likewise, people then coming for the evening session will be doing exactly the same, but the other way around. And then Sunday, we've got a really long session, so it's 1 till 7, and people tend to sort of come in and out on a Sunday session, is what we see anyway. So they'll come in maybe for a couple of hours, 1 till 2, explore the food, look at some of the demonstrations, they'll nip back home, change of clothes and come back for the party later. So yeah, you will see a lot of people sort of coming and going, to your point, from the station.
And what's been the response locally, the people you've been working with? Because I can imagine that perhaps sometimes councils aren't particularly helpful, or they don't particularly want you to be there, or sometimes you get people who are a little bit officious or so on. But hopefully you've been welcomed here, both from the officials and also the residents and ticket sales.
We've had lots and lots of great support. I met with Helen from Reigate and Banstead Council earlier today. She's really excited about the event. We've loved working with her and the team. Everyone's been super supportive. We've also worked with a load of local organisations this year. Your marketing team have been helping us kind of outreach into the community. You might see that we've got flyers in a number of shops that want to support us, and again, we've got a lot of returning visitors year on year. So obviously this is only the second year of this show, so to have so much of that support coming back means we did something okay last year, and hopefully we can prove that we can do even better this year with an even better lineup. Some names I haven't mentioned actually, so we've got Gabrielle coming on the Sunday, we've got the Hoosiers, we've got Jay Rayner, who is whilst a very well-known food critic, also has his own...
So he's got his own band,
he's got his own band, isn't it? Yeah, it is Jay Rayner Sextet, Scouting for Girls, McFly, Mel C. The Blue Tones have just been announced as well actually, so they're coming on the Friday evening. So yeah, it's very exciting. I mean, the chef demonstrations I think as well are really not to be missed. And I think sometimes at our shows, because it can be quite a lot to take in when you sort of walk through those gates and there's going to be food and there's going to be music. And I think what's often missed is all of those extra sort of additional demonstrations, learning to cook with the pros. Tom Kerridge will be demonstrating, just all of these incredible people that will just be showing their expertise. And again, the fire pit, I think, is one not to be missed, because I think it's so visual to see those flames and that great food and the smells, just incredible.
Okay, we can't do the smells here, can we, on a podcast, unfortunately. So it's going to be year 2 for Pub in the Park in Reigate's Priory Park. Tickets, I'm guessing, are still available. Give a quick plug for those.
Yeah, so tickets are available, pubintheparkuk.com. You can also check out the full lineup there. You can see the chefs. We haven't got the day splits yet for which chefs are coming on which day, but that will be announced very soon. Everything's on the website, and hopefully we'll see you there.
Year 2, what does Reigate and Redhill and Merstham and Buckland and Betchworth and Brockham and people come to Priory Park in a couple of 3 weeks' time? What do they have to do to help you to bring it back for year 3?
The main thing they need to do is, one, be courteous. So, if you are arriving, if you are leaving, respect the area that we're in. It is incredible here. Look after your rubbish, take that home, definitely. If our visitors are kind to the town, then hopefully the town will be kind to us. But ultimately, in order for us to come back, we just need you to come and experience it and hopefully come back next year.
Okay, that is it for this week. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Next week, ooh la la.
The 60-second Soundscape. Local natural sounds, uninterrupted.
This week, from Redhill, coming out of the Belfry on a Saturday afternoon and hearing celebrations outside the light.
The Planet Reigate podcast was produced and presented by Peter Stewart.